it's Romy. Welcome to the channel. Cancer, this is your April 2020 reading. So if you're a Cancer sun, rising or moon, this is a general reading, but it might resonate for you. If you're enjoying it and you'd like to connect with me, the link for the extended reading is in the description box below. And I'm also over on my website, romywyser.com, on Instagram and Facebook. Let's go ahead and see what Aries season has in store for you, Cancer. Thanks for being here. Okay, Cancer, so Aries season is 10th house energy for you. And I like this because it is giving you a long-term outlook. It's helping you to see beyond the current circumstances that you might find yourself in. And it's giving you some endurance, some strength and some focus to make sure that you don't allow things to completely lose track and lose momentum. And we open your reading with the Knight of Pentacles, is exactly what I've just mentioned, because this grounded earthy energy, you know, 10th house ruled by Capricorn, it's a beautiful enduring, focused, kind of gritty, let's keep going. And it is like, look at the focus that he has here toward his particular goal. So for you, as you're moving through this first part of April, I feel that you're being invited by your guides to not feel that anything that you have started or is already in flux needs to be completely abandoned. This is about, yes, making adjustments, but you're being asked to be consistent, to be measured, to be considered in your approach towards all things, you know, not just anything that you're doing from a work perspective. This is about any new initiatives that are coming forth. It's about the way that you approach your self-care during this time of really incredible energy adjustments, particularly if you're very sensitive and absorbing a lot of the energy that's going on just now. It's about the way that you approach new routines, you know, within the family dynamic or, you know, within relationships. And so I like that the Knight of Pentacles is giving you that wherewithal to just not lose it, you know, not lose your cool, not lose your ability to just keep going and prioritize what's important, because rest assured, what you do through this month of April is going to matter. You know, when the energy starts to quicken and things are clearing, the work that you will have put in through this month is going to make an incredible difference. Now on the 3rd, we have Venus moving into the sign of Gemini. Now Gemini energy for you, Cancer, is 12th house. So the moon makes perfect sense in this context, because 12th house, that very spiritual house, asking you to go within, to dive deep into the subconscious, to allow healing and release to take place. It can bring up some, you know, interesting fear-based energies, and sometimes that moon denoting the confusion or the uncertainty. But here's where we love our Knight of Pentacles, is just giving us the anchor that we need. Very Piscean energy as well, so you may well be dealing with the Pisces right now. And if that is the case, and I see you very much as the Knight of Pentacles, I think that Spirit are saying just keep focused and keep consistent in terms of your approach, regardless of the energy influences that are going on around you. And that's what's going to help give you a sense of stability and security through any changing times right now. The moon, of course, is also asking you to really tap into your own intuitive knowing, and the way that you feel, the way that you sense what's happening around you just now is going to be the best indicator for you, rather than trying to tune into any external channel that might be proposing a different kind of agenda that's not going to serve you at the moment. On the 4th, we have Jupiter and Pluto going conjunct, and this is the first of 3. We have the 2nd on June 30th, the 3rd on November 12th, a very intense and powerful energy, very karmic implications for that time. We have the 4 of Wands coming through with this. So there is this opportunity for you to work with that energy in a very high vibrational approach. Make sure that you're using it to invite in possibility, to keep focused on the long term, to allow more harmony and balance to come into your world. I think there may be this consideration of what's going on in terms of your environment, from your home, your family, of course your place of work. So, you know, the activation that takes place on the 4th, you know, with that moon energy, it could feel a little bit uncertain, you could feel a little bit confused, but you are being invited to just really listen to what's coming through from your spiritual self, from that higher self. If you can tap into your divine connection, that's where I feel you're going to get the illumination coming through very strongly, okay? You may well find around that time, because it activates your 7th house of relationships, Cancer, that you have some kind of offer or apology, or some kind of somebody stepping forward. Maybe some, I don't know, again, some confusion from your perspective on what the intentions are around that, or not quite understanding what it means to you, you know, whether it's personally or professionally. Again, just take some time to sit with that, go back into that Knight of Pentacles energy to give you the sense of clarity. You know, look at the facts, but then, you know, slip deeper into what you're feeling and sensing. That's going to give you a true picture. 8 of Cups energy coming through, because I feel like you are in some aspect having to let go and leave something behind through this month of April. I think for many of you it's going to be a way of being, a way of living your life that in some regards wasn't serving you, okay? So what we're seeing is the opportunity to take the positive from some of the current circumstances and give yourself the chance to have that fresh slate, that clean slate, and say, you know what, this is the perfect time to now let this go, to let this pattern go, to let this, you know, particular business that wasn't serving me, to move away from this job or this relationship. And I think you will get some real clarity within yourself about that. On the 7th, we've got a full moon in Libra, which wants to help bring in more balance for us. It's in your 4th house. So again, this aspect of really connecting into what's going on within the home and family. And, you know, maybe there is this aspect of you wanting to, I feel like you're wanting to express yourself in some regards, Cancer, but kind of holding back, feeling like the timing isn't quite right. So there is something about you just holding your cards a little bit close to your chest with something. And I think that's okay. I think you need to just trust that you'll be nudged towards when you need to reveal, or when you need to address something more fully, okay? April's almost the container where you're just allowing yourself to move through the emotional journey of it. And I kind of think the 8 of Cups is really representative of the emotional journey that you're going to go on within yourself through this month. And what comes out the other side of that is, for me, going to give you that opportunity to do some deep emotional shedding, but it will be very cathartic for you. It will bring in a sense of completion and the opportunities for you to consider the bigger picture. World card coming in at the center of your reading, I really love. Of course, it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is now in Aquarius in your 8th house. So again, it is diving deep, but it's giving you that opportunity for transformation right now. And it is saying that when we allow ourselves to trust in the divine, when we allow ourselves to have the purge that is required right now, the inevitable completion and release of what is no longer for us is going to make space and create a time where we can ascend and step up onto a different energy frequency. And I think that's where you're poised and ready to receive in a really beautiful way this month, Cancer. Okay, so card of death, again linked into that 8th house with Saturn. Could be a Scorpio energy that you're also dealing with right now, but there certainly is an ending and a completion happening. I want to say that even though these times of change can feel incredibly challenging and derail us, because perhaps a lot of our sense of security and our sense of self were invested in them, for me, this is about a transformation. Remember, this is something that needed to evolve. It needed to change. It needed to change in some capacity. So you're being invited to look at what can come from that in the best possible light, and see where you need to make the adjustment. And I think that there is this beautiful like opening up, you know, like the lotus flower kind of coming through. I'm just seeing that happening for you as a connect into that energy of the world. It's lovely. But of course, you know, let's not sugarcoat, you know, the emotional journey that you may go on through April could take you to some places that feel quite painful. They could feel that they are really tugging at a part of you that you didn't want to deal with, or you have tried to avoid for some time. But Three of Swords, remember, swords are about our mental body. They're about our thoughts, that intellectual aspect of our spiritual self. And so if we take the perspective that this is about a lot of the emotions and how we translate them into our thought forms. So what we have is a cleansing and a clearing of many thought forms that were attached to very wound energy. And what we're doing is we're moving away and we're letting go, we're having a release of that, okay? And in the embodiment of that Knight of Pentacles, you're being given the endurance to be able to move through that emotional journey and really to find some beautiful sense of cathartic healing in this month of April, Cancer. Okay, so I know this card is always kind of a little bit uncomfortable, particularly in this deck. It looks kind of gruesome, I'll give you that, but I do really always find it is this incredibly cleansing, clarifying energy, where sometimes we need that to cut through the moon energy. It's like, okay, now I know what I'm dealing with. Here's this thing I keep thinking that I really don't want to do anymore. I don't want to be in that space of sabotage or of putting my finger in the wound of this anymore. I've done this for years and it's time to change. And you know, sometimes that Death card can be forced change. It's not comfortable change, is it? But actually when we just surrender into it, then what comes out from that experience is that element of growth that you've been asking for and moving towards for some time. When we move into Taurus season on the 19th, beautiful grounded earthy energy into your 11th house of community, of the way that you want to connect into the world, how you're using technology. And I think this is going to be a very creative and very soothing energy for you to work with. I see a lot of respite coming in with that, but we also have Knight of Wands coming through, so I'm seeing respite, and then we're getting a bit of a charge of energy. So you know, I think when you allow that release to take place, what's going to come forward is this renewal. It's like a renewal. And if you think so much about what's happening in the collective right now, this opportunity for a complete reset is allowing you to kind of step up and to show up and to explore new territories, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things. Now, I'm going to say he does look a little bit hesitant to me today, and I think that's going to be perfectly understandable. You're going to be hesitant because perhaps you've been dealing with, you know, some of this emotional stuff through the month, and you're wondering whether you've got what it takes or you've got it in you to change direction or to make that adjustment or to speak up or to use your voice or to you know, to deal with this in a different way. But you absolutely do. You know, you've got two knights coming in. These are real you know, harbingers of change, and they're delivering messages to you. They're delivering that energy that wants to galvanize you, it wants to help lift you, it wants to motivate you and give you the passion and the energy to be able to make something happen, to initiate something. Now, of course, you could be dealing with a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and perhaps that's where some of this wound energy is being healed and being brought up to the surface to be acknowledged. So, you know, take your time to think about that. How can you truly look at this from a new angle? This is the moment of illumination and awakening that you're receiving in April to support that, Cancer. Okay, another earth energy coming in. The Seven of Pentacles, just giving you time to take stock and make an assessment about your life, about where you're at. There's beautiful bounty around this. So I think as well, it's just this reminder about what I said at the beginning of the reading, that, you know, if you are diligent and consistent and measured and continue to do the work and to stay focused, you will reap the rewards of that. You know, I know it can be perhaps for some tempting to kind of slip into a rather avoidant energy, which, you know, could be indicated by the moon, but don't slip into that. Face things head on, and you'll move through the energy so much quicker, and what will come out of that is that metamorphosis and the ability to actually see so much of what you've already invested and worked on within yourself and in areas of your life hasn't been all of a sudden like sidelined. In actual fact, it's going to come in and show you growth in ways that you couldn't possibly have imagined in terms of the unfolding of it. So I like that anchored energy of Earth helping you move through this month, and even the Four of Wands bringing in that lovely balance and sense of something to celebrate within yourself but also close to home. Okay, so I feel like there's a lovely element of surprise and celebration that's coming in close to home. Just going to see what our oracle cards are coming through. Okay, so you have the Secret of Camelot, the authority of spirit. So let's first of all look at this figure. She's holding her sword of truth. Okay, she's holding her sword of truth, and she's ready, she's poised, and she's not afraid to face whatever she needs to face this month, you know. And I think that the sword's very much indicating what's going on within the three here, about you being able to deal with the wound energy and what it's triggering and what it's representing in your world. You know, the castle seems faded in the background, and so there may be this sense of you feeling like there's things fading from your life, or you're losing grasp, or you're losing touch of something. That isn't the case. This is just a initiation that we need to move through. You're being invited to step inside this tunnel that's beautifully lit, and the light is kind of linking into the castle. So in order to return back to this and bring it back to its vibrancy, we need to move forward on this quest. You know, the river is flowing, so yes, it's an emotional time for you, but you know, there's green growth all around this. The trees are here, everything's very protective. Nature is holding you in its embrace right now, and you are lit up in white. You've got this beautiful illumination of divine white light. You know, the Secret of Camelot is suggestive to me that spirit are in, you know, you can trust in the way that things are unfolding for you, knowing that they are supporting your path, knowing that the information that comes to light, you know, that moon energy, when you trust and you link into your own intuitive knowing through April, is really going to reveal to you things that have always been there but you've never been able to see before, I think. So trust in spirit, trust in yourself. Know that your home, like your home, your sanctuary is protected. And what a beautiful sign for you, Cancer, you know, as that is such an important aspect to your energy. But that's what I feel that Secret of Camelot is just indicating right next to the Four of Wands there, that, you know, you can feel safe. That internal sanctuary and stability that you've built is supported and protected. Okay, moon in Libra. Bring peace to your life and your relationships will flourish. Love. Now, of course, we've got a full moon in Libra happening on the 7th of April. So I love the energy of this coming through for you, bringing in peace, harmony, reminding you that love is the answer. To be the warrior of love. You know, let's look at that Knight of Wands. He's the true warrior in your reading. So be that warrior of love in Aries season as well, which is a fire energy. But how can you invite in more peace right now? You do have the opportunity to prosper in peace regardless of what is happening in and around you right now. And I think that as you tap more and more into that side of that type of energy, it's really going to help soothe you through this period so much, Cancer. Okay, I hope that's given you some insight into this month of April that's ahead of us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do make sure you drop me a comment or subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to join me for the extended reading, we talk for another 20 minutes or so, just go into a bit more detail and unearth some more messages. So I'm going to ask you just to begin by focusing on a specific question if I have not covered that in the general reading here, and we're going to pull a couple of cards for that, and then we'll cover it more fully in the second reading. So just think about that question for me now. Okay, there's our 2 cards for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and just pull some clarifying cards for your 9-card spread, Cancer. So we'll see what's coming out. So let's begin with this Knight of Pentacles. Okay, we have strength. Yeah, I love this for you. I think that's the stoic, grounded heart energy that's absolutely going to carry you through anything this month. High Priestess. It's that divine presence and that connection to that lunar energy, moon energy. Of course, your ruling planet that you feel so comfortable working with. 10 of Wands with the moon. Ace of Pentacles, okay. I know there's a lot of fear around the work aspect and perhaps things that you've started and wondering, have some uncertainty or doubt around things, but I just feel the adjustments that you're going to make are going to reveal and unearth even more opportunity for you. Temperance, beautiful card of healing coming through. Sagittarius as well, so it's kind of double Sagittarius energy going on in here. Perhaps that's an important sign for some of you, person that you're dealing with at the moment. Okay, we've got moon again with that 8 of Cups. You're doing some deep work this month, April. There's no doubt about that. But of course, Knight of Swords, returning and revisiting something. You've got a lot of night energy coming through though, which does talk to me about very progressive change happening for you. The World and the Sun, look at that right in the center of your reading. Beautiful. And Death and the Fool. Love the majors that are coming out for you here. So that ending is transforming into a brand new beginning for you. And these things can happen simultaneously, right? And we can be in a state of grief and loss at one aspect of our life at the same time as celebrating the beauty and the radiance and the joy of something really precious beginning. 3 of Cups and the 3 of Swords, okay. Go one more for that. Page of Pentacles, okay. Your Knight of Wands bringing through Queen of Swords. A Magician. 7 of Pentacles with the Lovers. Pull a couple more for the Oracle cards here and then we'll... Oh, beautiful, the Star. And the Page of Swords. Okay, Cancer. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to join me for the extended, you can find a link in the description box underneath the video, or hop over to my website, which is romywyser.com, and you will find the link to your April extended reading there. Take good care, stay safe, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bright blessings. Bye-bye.